Hi, my name is Vincent Omolo. This is my physiology presentation, the caffeine kick. I'm going to be looking at the effects of excessive consumption of caffeine on the human body. So, caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant. It occurs naturally in coffee beans and other plants like guarana berries. It's also added to energy drinks. And when we talk about consumption, moderate consumption of caffeine would be 200 to 300 milligrams per day. High intake would be 400 to 600 milligrams per day, and anything above 600 would be excessive consumption. Before we understand how caffeine works, we're gonna understand how adenosine works. It's kind of like a naturally occurring chemical in your brain. It accumulates during the day when you're awake. It's in the morning it's low and then it builds up during the day, and at night it peaks and you're ready to sleep. So uh, when caffeine enters this picture, this changes the way adenosine works. So we're gonna look at what we call molecular mimicry, which is just a comparison between the adenosine molecule and the caffeine molecule. And the big difference here is in the adenosine molecule, there's a ribose sugar attached, and in the caffeine, there's no ribose sugar attached. So the two, what the difference is, adenosine will trigger sleep while caffeine will block it. So that's the most important difference. And then blocking that adenosine has some trigger effect. It increases some hormones like dopamine and adrenaline. At the same time, it suppresses calming hormones. So what that does is you're gonna have increased heart rate. You're alert, but at the same time, you have increased anxiety and um, jitteriness. And then we're gonna look at some of the effects. We have cardiovascular effects. It's gonna raise your heart rate by 10 to 20 beats per minute. You're gonna have renal effects, which is it's gonna have a diuretic effect on your kidneys. Gastrointestinal effects. It's gonna make you basically have cramps, and then potentially also have a laxative effect on yourself. So that's how it affects the GI system. Also have here comparison on how it destroys sleep quality. So it's a comparison of healthy sleep where there's no caffeine, and disrupted sleep where there's caffeine. So if we go back to how the caffeine works by blocking those sleep receptors, so the general effect is that it disrupts sleep patterns. And then the panic trigger for some people is that it causes intense fear in some people, and then with other people, there's really not much effect. So it affects people differently. And then the tolerance will be different for different people. And then we're gonna look at the physical dependence. Some people take it to, take it and not adapt to the coffee, but over time, being dependent on it means you're using it too much. Um, And then there's the withdrawal. Of course, if you stop using caffeine, so many things happens. Your mood changes and everything. And there's a chronic excessive consumption, long-term effects of that across multiple body system, interferes with the cardiovascular and the nervous system. And then we're going to talk about energy drinks. You want to avoid that because of the high level of caffeines in those systems. And then now, just to consume it safely, you want to use the 400 milligram rule. Healthier diet should stay under 400 milligrams daily. And then that's it. So those are some of the effects of caffeine excessive consumption in the body. Thank you.